that particular saddle is,
Oh, well,
we're gonna try and
a
sell
little
that.
bit late.
Welcome, Mr. Stefano. Take
Sorry.
a seat.
Have we acquired that saddle blueprint yet?
Yeah, I'm curious how much it's gonna cost.
Yeah. It is borrowing regular materials, but it's not that important. It costs $64 and 64 high.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
I was
That's
expecting a
actually
lot
really
more
good.
from it, honestly.
Yes.
I was. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People
it's
would be
very
willing to
good.
pay
Why
that,
doesn't
I
just
think.
we all get up and walk around? Yeah, life has the same
Well,
thing.
I just got here,
Yeah.
so. Stop out of the cage after prospecting, just seeing how you're doing. Bird. Oh.
Mr. Stefano,
Yes.
Actually, I'm just gonna run down.
see my goat later.
Oh, you've got.
See my goat.
Okay, I have to see your goat.
Come here.
Oh, you have a little bit here? What is it? What am I going? What am I coming?
Wherever I can throw him
Wait,
down.
what the hell?
Because
Everyone's running around.
We had that talk earlier about all this. Yeah.
Oh, it's green.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're the same age.
Oh,
Is it pistachio?
well, it looks like a pistachio.
Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, that's good. I was expecting to be like $100 or something based on the
Yeah.
price of other blueprints I've seen that are something normally that's $15, like a gun. And yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it is
Imagine
very
if
good.
we still had
And,
that engraved rifle blue blueprint.
Oh.
Jesus.
Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
Yeah, people will be willing to pay for that, I think, at that price.
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
sell that. Well, we're gonna sell that for $75, and that
Okay.
would be markup for about, because the tent leather is also has a value. That is about a
it's
markup
time
of
consuming to make.
$7. It's time consuming, and well, oil has a value.
Did I miss a whole lot of
So
things? I
tent
don't,
leather
I
has
don't know if I missed a whole lot.
value. Apart from the time, so it's time and oil. But that's about a $7 markup per saddle. I think that's a good price. So $75 for a purple saddle. It's just shy of 60, I think. I don't remember.
And I
Protection wise.
proceed. Where are the proceeds going for from the purple saddle?
I'm thinking towards the town.
That's what I thought. Okay, I was just making sure. I just wanted to double
Mhm.
check. Okay, I was
It's
assuming,
the town
but you know about
price, so
assuming.
I think it should.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Mm,
Probably want to advertise that so we're able to actually start producing
yes.
Yep.
the tan leather and stuff.
I've already been stocking up, but yeah, I can produce a few. I don't think there's a whole run on purple saddles just yet, but I will keep producing tent leather so we can just make them. If someone is here to buy it, I'm keeping that blueprint for now. If it needs to be crafted, just come and get me. If at one point if we have a lot of money as a town, we can stock up on a couple, but as for now we can't, of course.
Alright.
So it's gonna be one by one, but I suppose they will change soon.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Just make it known that we're selling purple saddles for $75. You don't have to mention the $64. People don't need to know our markup, really.
Right.
No, that makes sense.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
You just go to a newspaper and advertise it if we're ready to do that.
Yep.
You just asked Red. He'd advertise
does.
it.
But I was gonna say, yeah, Red will do
Yep.
it.
And Miss Jezebel also, our neighbor on the other side, also running a newspaper.
Does have a newspaper.
Oh, she's running a newspaper too? Okay.
Yeah. Alright, next point. This is gonna be a new point that hasn't been implemented,
Oh.
as far as I went aware in Keystone ever.
Oh.
Those housekeeping rules sort of were I think should have been always the case, never spoken out, but this is a new one. It's about people that are not waking up, people that are not contributing to Keystone socially or in labor or any other form of contributing. If they're not waking up for more than 2 weeks without informing us with a good reason for them not waking up, they will be removed from town. That doesn't mean they can come back if they do wake up. But
Yes, Lucas.
since Keystone is
Yes.
pretty popular, we're already dealing with more people that want to join the town than we can house. So that is a rule we're gonna implement. Also, it's only the case when they've not informed me and they're not waking up for 2 weeks, and if there's more people wanting to join the town than we can house.
Nice.
If there's no one wanting to join us and we have room enough, they don't really need to leave, but it's only in that case. But just so you're aware. Is there any objections to that?
Nope.
No.
We really should find Jacob though. Who knows where he is?
Has
I'm
anybody
so
seen
very
him?
worried.
I've
He's
asked
missing.
around. Yeah, he's gone. I don't
Yeah,
know.
as far as I know, they talked to he talked to Shannon. I don't know who else he would stay with besides
I
Raven's Reach, and
talked
they
to
don't
Shannon
they don't know, and they don't
an
know
hour
either.
ago.
Last time I heard
She
from
hasn't even seen him.
I haven't seen him in a while.
The last time I saw him, he was standing aimlessly staring at the wall in Bucky's house.
Yeah.
Have we
Yeah,
checked
he came
all
up
over
to me and
Bucky's
he
house?
said,
He's
"Don't
not
let
there.
anybody know I'm here except Keystone."
He's not there.
And I was like, "Okay," and then that's the last I saw him.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, I saw him the night he came back.
I saw him
Sounds
the
like
next morning
Because he missed
for a
Maddie's
bit.
wedding and he was trying to stay low key.
Ooh.
That's right. He didn't make it to Maddie's wedding though.
Whoa, what the fuck? What? How did. What?
He wasn't a man. I
Wait,
was
what?
there.
Wait, you saw that too,
Was?
okay?
Stefano, just take an antipsychotic and call it a day.
I saw it too, but okay.
I didn't see him. I saw
Yeah.
the door open and then
Alright,
he
I
appeared in
married
the
a
seat.
ghost.
Okay.
No, that's not what happened. He slithered across the
why I'm
floor.
the best sheriff. A ghost.
Yeah,
Oh,
guys,
that's
I
why I
killed
didn't
Dent
see
when we
him.
were out of county, and he came back with us in Ghost Swarm. You guys just realized it now.
Well, I know how to make ghost chili, so I can show you how to do that later.
Yeah, Light's cooking finally killed me.
Boogity.
Oh, shut
Oh,
up.
wow.
Oh
Damn.
dear.
Wow.
No comment.
Alright, then moving on to next point. Our town financials. Miss June is our banker. She'll be handling most of that. We're soon gonna be buying a citizen's vault, and we want to promote that a little bit because it's recently it's hardly been used.
Yes.
I'll give Miss June the word about how she wants to do that, how that works, and then I'll tack onto that a little bit at the end. But go ahead, Miss June.
Okay. So, I am wanting to push for people to, if they're wanting to invest in an account in the Citizens Vault. I'm wanting to start off an account at $100 because it's easy for keep track of your interest. If you put money into the bank, it will promote interest at a 5% rate. If we can raise enough money, we can have multiple citizen vaults with multiple accounts throughout the town. Each citizen vault can only hold 10 accounts at one time. If we end up getting enough citizen vaults, we can start doing compound interest. But yeah, if you're interested in setting up an account, just come find me. And we'll be able to get that set up for you, since I know money can be a bit more difficult to come by. And this could be an easier way for you guys to get it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So just you want to get some free money, ask Miss June.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gonna be making it available to like people nearby or neighbors and stuff? I know it was done in the past.
Personally, I'm wanting to. If it depends on how much you guys are wanting to do.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on you guys' interest, because I will put Keystone first, and if people, I need to talk to Lucas, Blythe, and everybody. I'm willing to do other people, and like have a small fee, and we put the fee toward the town.
Sounds good to me. If there's room,
Okay.
that's the point.
If there's room,
I already
exactly.
know of at least 2 people who would like to open account Keystone. They were asking me about it, and I told them I didn't
Marty
know.
and maybe asked, I believe.
Okay. But yeah, I'd be putting you guys first, and again, each vault can only hold 10 accounts. That's not including compound interest whatsoever. It costs money to get each vault, so it depends on how many vaults we have and how much room we have as to what we can do.
Yep. All right, then also for the bank. I don't think people have been making use of personal lockboxes in the bank. However,
Thank you.
if any one of you wants a personal lockbox in the bank, then we will need to provide that for you. And
didn't know that was even a thing.
we'll need to change up the bank a little bit so it's always accessible for you. However, if no one has interest in a personal lockbox in the bank, then we'll don't need to change anything, but that is up to all of you, really.
Could that not
I'm
possibly
good.
be decided right now? Like, if anybody has interest, just speak up
Yeah, I
now,
have no interest.
or forever
But
hold
I
the
don't
peace.
either.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if just speak up if you do want a personal lockbox at the bank.
Alright
I think
then.
that settles it.
Yay!
Alright, good.
That's the
no,
plan.
No town I've ever been in, I've been in 3 now, has ever used them except for Glacier Falls, and that was just as the means to where the interest went. Personal account.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Dino, thank you for the host. Thank you.
Yeah, that is one of their most uses. But if you're not gonna store anything else in there other than the interest, then it doesn't need to be accessible by you, because Miss June will handle the interest and will pay out if you ask for it. All right. Well, that solves that then. I want to touch on the subject of, well, what should I, safety, I suppose, town safety. I thought it would be a good idea like that everyone in the town here knows what to do if we were ever to come under attack, or a bandit gang rides through, or just one bandit or whatnot. I thought it would be a good idea to have Mr. Dent set up, well, call it a safety protocol, where you should run, where you should not be running, what to do, where are the best places, where are super best places to go and hide, all that sort of stuff, and
Hospital.
maybe at some point do like a safety drill of sorts with the whole town. What do you think about it, Mr. Dent?
I think that's a good idea. I'd rather, folk run than try and fight, a bunch of people get killed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So if you wanna work on that over the coming days, making sort of a protocol, what to do and what not to do, and then set a date that we can go over it, do a drill or
I
whatnot.
like this. I like this.
In those locations, you can always set up like one of those emergency boxes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right.
Next.
These meetings. I know sometimes towns are very good at having meetings. Sometimes the intention is there, but never happen. I'm guessing if I were to ask, do you want more of these meetings? Do you want a weekly meeting? The answer is probably gonna be yes. Whether it's gonna work out remains to be seen. But I think a weekly meeting would be good.
Yeah.
Though
I agree.
not sure it is necessary. If it can also be just a point in time where you can come with your concerns. Well, you can always come with your concerns, but it's a time where we can gather, but not mandatory or whatever, or just a regular meeting like this. I was
also, I was gonna say, if you just have it, probably don't need to be long meetings, and maybe we can do that, and then just have a little social activities afterwards while people are all together.
Yeah,
that's great. I like that.
And seeing the turnout, I think this is maybe the time we have the most people awake at the same time. Saturday about 6 p.m. Why don't we just set a meeting for next week at the same time and
Well, I don't think Dent can make it at 6 ever.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, if they're gonna be shorter, we can like shift it half an hour.
Yeah, that probably
That'd be good.
I think that sounds like a good good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me.
All right. So let's just go for now.
So
Next week,
8:39.
half an hour later, we'll have another meeting. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Alright.
All right.
I don't know, just an idea if anybody had like any concerns to bring. I don't know, I got here late, so I don't know what's already been discussed. But if anybody had,
Do you have concerns?
if anybody does, I don't, but
Well, I have a few more points
Godfrey,
to go
we were
through,
talking
and
about...
then we'll open the table. So,
oh, okay.
Sorry.
Just a general thing. Everyone knows this, but I'm just gonna say it. We are a large town. We are a large family. There's many different people. There are gonna be times that someone does something you don't agree with, you don't like, or someone steps on your toes. That is fine. Don't worry about it. But just stay polite and talk about it, communicate. If you wanna, some people deal different with it. They need to brood a little bit. That is also fine. Take a ride out of town, but talk with each other. That's the main thing. And if you can't talk it out, talk with one of the town officials. And if it doesn't work, talk with me. It's fine if you are upset with someone or something. That's just something that's gonna happen, but we can work that out. Main point is don't go bottling things up until they explode. Don't go
good shit,
brooding in
Lucas.
town for a whole week. That's not good for the town. Just talk it out, right?
I'll add to that. Just say everybody needs a mediator or just an ear, somebody who's not worried about going and blabbing their mouth. You can all. I don't know if you all know. Winters, I captain a naval ship, so I deal with things all the time. Confidence, and I deal with all kinds of, so pretty good with that. just somebody
Right.
that's not a town official to talk to, find me.
We don't want any.
We need a doctor for
Hey.
Sunny.
Oh, she
He might hurl in a minute. She's very dizzy.
I'll be back.
Okay.
That is a terrifying description. Some they're very diseased.
Bad.
Yep.
Dizzy spells.
But
She's had it for quite a while. She fell asleep.
yeah, it doesn't need to be anyone particular. It doesn't need the one you're angry with. Just talk to anyone and solve it. If you can't solve it, talk to another person, talk to me, talk to one of the officials. But communicate if you're unhappy, right? A little bit in the same line is, and this might sound weird, but it is very true. One of the most important things of feeling part of a town is not feeling left out, and most of the time that feeling left out comes from not being told things and not being shared things. So again, talk with each other if you find out something, or if you don't know something, ask it. But thing with that is if you don't know anything, you don't know to ask for it. So if you come to some information, maybe it's important information that we need to know and we don't know, and you do, don't feel important that you know a secret. It doesn't make you important. It doesn't add any value to your person. Just share it with everyone. Make everyone feel included, alright? I think that is a very important thing.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I'd like to just add, like, a lot of the time, miscommunication is a thing. So if you feel like somebody maybe said something wrong, or you may have gotten off on the wrong foot with somebody on some sort of thing, just, I mean, talking will sort most things out, because a lot of the time people get lost in conversation and misunderstood where people are going with things.
Like me, if I'm doing something, I may not realize I'm doing it. So please come talk to me. Or
Exactly my point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know for
That was my point.
another example would be like sometimes when we're dealing with patients and we get quite carried away. So if we're brushing you off, it's not out of rudeness, it's out of panic. Most of the time.
If having a third party, present for the conversation is always good as well.
Yes.
So you can help mediate. Make sure that there's none of the, he said, she said.
Yep, it's true. It's there's a lot of different ways you can resolve this stuff. All I ask that you use one of the ways to do it. Talk to an independent individual, get a mediator, talk directly to the person. It's all good, it doesn't matter. And just talk to someone. Don't bottle it up, is more the thing. On to some lighter points, more fun points, I think. Well, this is not a really light point because it's a lot of work. Keystone has never had a newspaper of his own, I don't think. Or maybe long before my time, but we have room for a newspaper. There's actually a little office at the back of the barber shop, not decorated, but if anyone feels called to do a newspaper, I would cheer that on, because I think that would be good. However, be mindful that it is well, there is someone in there, yeah, but that's not really the point. It is a lot of work running a newspaper, depending on how many issues you're gonna bring out. But if anyone wants to take that on, please do so. I think that would look good on the town. It can also be a joint effort. Someone needs to have the end responsibility, I suppose, but you can do it with a couple of people. But the option is there, is all I was wanted to say.
I think on top of that, it doesn't really need to be a weekly or like bi-weekly newspaper. It could just be like advertisements or things like that if the need is there.
Yep, indeed. But if anyone has any ideas for that, yeah, go for it. Well, Mr. Dent has found us an oil vein and purchased us an oil rig.
You
so
go,
we
Dent.
have an oil rig. Was mentioned before, but yeah, so that is very good for our saddles we're gonna be selling, hopefully.
Very.
Should we set up like a central place to put the excess, like maybe in the carpentry shop, or?
That is what I was thinking too. Just a central place where we can stock it up, and if Mr. Godfrey and you and me and I don't know who else uses all,
I think
but
just you three.
just grab it from there if you need it. There was a fun idea that, and I like this a lot, really. The longer I think about it, Miss Blythe has a very neat idea for visitors that come to Keystone. Do you want to explain what you had in mind, Miss Blythe?
I mean, yeah, do you want to, or do you want me to?
No, you. Your idea.
Okay, well...
Oh.
Hi, Piper.
Hello there.
Hi, Piper.
Hello, Piper.
Hello there.
Where do I sit?
Over here.
Right over here.
Purple shirt.
Between Papa and Mama.
Chair one.
It's like a mini
pajama.
plane.
Yellow
Hello.
shirt. Huh.
You just always think I'd be in my pajamas.
You are.
I'm just
You
gonna
are.
stare this way. I'm just gonna look towards this door right here.
Okay.
Next week, can we all come in our pajamas?
Yeah, be in pajama party.
Yeah.
But I actually had two ideas, but I haven't brought up the one, so we can save that one for the next meeting or after. But anyway, one thing that I do know that we have a lot more than other towns is we have, basically 4 cooks. And I actually thought this would be a neat idea that if we set up a pantry either in the post office or like right outside of it with like a sign saying try our favorite foods, if you guys could tell all the cooks your favorite like food or drink, and we could have like special things, because I know Lincoln has like chocolate chip cookies, or Lucas has his cheese explosion, or Dent has his burnt meat, so like, and we could name it that and then put it in there so when people come they can kind of taste all of our favorite foods and get to know us a little better.
Wait, burnt meat?
That's his favorite
Yes,
food,
burnt
and
meat and
whiskey.
whiskey.
Burnt meat and whiskey. But yeah, so I was figuring if we
Oh, I
could all
thought that
come
was a
together
joke,
anywhere.
but that's a thing.
No,
Okay.
that's literally his favorite food.
Not
So I
surprising
was
to me.
thinking if we all had like a specialty that is like Blythe's whatever, or Piper's blah 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 blah, and then we stick it in a pantry and keep it stocked so people can come into town and try it, they might like that.
That's neat.
He has a pantry in front of their cafe.
Yeah, that's different though, because that's like her
Yeah.
cafe. It should be somewhere more central where it's like
Sounds like-
specifically for
Yeah,
Should
close
be
by
everybody.
makes a
There's
lot
a
of
big
sense.
old food festival too.
If we put it near, like where the scales
Whoa,
are.
that would be an amazing idea. Food festival. Sorry.
Alright. But yeah, that was the idea that I brought up to Lucas, which he likes. So if we all want to come together and do that, but you guys need it. Well, I guess we could chase you all down and figure out what your favorite foods are too.
Yeah. The 4 cooks need to come together and chase all of us down, and
I like
are
that
the
idea.
cheese cookies?
We already have a good handful of things that are named after people in town too, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
there's a
do
big
have
chunk.
that
We
quite
just
a
need to
bit,
fill
though.
in.
Stew and
Yeah, we just need to fill in the gaps of like the remaining people. I just think it gives us like a little bit of a personality, and it's something no other town's done, so it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
You know, you come in and like
I
take
think
these
it
foods.
should be 1 dish
I like
per
it.
person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just a dish that they like the best. Yeah, but go do that. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well we'll work on that this week.
Maybe I'll pick my
Excellent.
fourth best and not my best.
Well,
The last thing I had on my agenda was I wanted to do for two reasons. For a little bit town bonding, but also for some getting ahead financially as a town. I wanted to do a town-wide with everyone, as far as possible, of course, a gigantic pelt run. I think that would be fun, and I think that would be lucrative. We can do that. I've asked Mr. Bucky to start raising some sheep, and we can do that as soon as we have enough pelt to make that work.
Me and June figured out the best way to get to the driver's hut and how to get back to Juniper. Just go down to the lake and take a boat.
I'm so glad you did, because June and I were doing that like the long, tedious way.
Yeah, and that's why I was talking to Asher. I was like, we need to find a better way.
Something better.
Well, there you go. When we go.
So even, to be fair, we can even take
the
more.
Best way.
To be fair, we can even take more pelt than the donkeys can carry. We can just take the raft up, and just keep running the donkeys back and forth to the trapper set.
Right.
Temporary box on the raft, and yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
Alright.
This was the thing that Keystone used to do.
Yeah, when it was up north.
That could be something like an activity for
like 80,
after the town
120?
meeting.
For after each town meeting? Perhaps, yeah. If we need the money.
Something.
Or if it's just fun.
Yeah.
It would just be half
week
the
after the
meeting
town
on the
meeting,
pelt
we just
run.
do it.
After the meeting on the donkeys?
Yeah.
It'll be on the boat, technically.
The boat meeting!
Oh, that could be
Thematic Keystone Pirates!
How many people can we
Yeah,
fit on the boat?
how many people can we fit on a boat?
One whole town on a raft, let's go.
Do it. Fit 7 people on a lamppost, it'll be fine.
We'll need like 2 different rafts, and we'll just ride by side by side.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. We're gonna become pirates. I'm okay with
Well,
this.
just let's just start with the one first, alright? And then we'll see
Oh, dang.
how we can do.
I don't like.
Alright, that was sort of all my points. I want people that not came in late, if they want to talk to other people or to me, of course, what they've missed. I laid out some household rules that I'm gonna be putting in place. Nothing will really change in practice, but I think they need to be there just to avoid well, drama. But I'm first
I
gonna
took
open
notes,
up the floor. Oh, that is excellent.
Come to me after.